What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of El Jardín Perdido. Today, we're thinning bananas. All right, so last year I made a video on do or don't you thin your bananas. And this year's been a little different because there's been a drought. We had a decent freeze the year before. So what happened was a lot of these bananas that I left from the freeze, they were kind of leggy and not doing so well, but really I just let everything go this year kind of as an experiment, but also just because I was happy to see bananas bounce back after a couple of years of consecutive freezes. So I have had a few bunches, and what I've noticed is they're pretty thin. I've noticed the stems of my plants have been real leggy, and so they're toppling a lot easier. And so from what I can gather, we had a lot of drought this year. Things weren't too fortified, and I could tell things were struggling a little. The years before, I hadn't really been thinning. I had some really nice racks and stuff. So I guess I'm changing my tune to it depends. So I think what happened this year is between the freeze, them trying to bounce back, and then extreme drought. I just had tons of shoots. I'll show you guys in a minute. We're gonna take one of my Orinoco clumps and we're gonna go ahead and thin those out. So the rule of thumb is just leave 3 and have them kind of have kind of the grandmother, the mother, the child. And so yeah, I think it really depends on how productive things are and your climate, what time of year, etc. We are in September right now. So I know for me to get some decent bunches, I'm gonna have to work kind of fast because they do take a while to ripen. Mainly because mine have gotten way out of hand. It is time to do some maintenance. But yeah, in the future, I think I'll be on this a little bit tougher. I'll show you in a little bit, but all of these Orinocos, they're almost the same size. They're pretty leggy. I know this specific one is competing with a chase tree a little bit, so that's kind of a different spin on things. But what we're gonna do is some of these older ones that should be fruiting soon, they just don't look good. So I'm gonna take kind of like the halfway there in hopes that I'll still get some fruit this year. And I'm gonna leave, you know, the most healthy looking ones, and I'm gonna take out a bunch of the saplings and stuff. And that'll be incorporating the fact that we still have a growing season. Some will still be popping up and stuff, but I really want to negate some of this competition, and there's a lot going on here. So let me show you guys. So this is what we have here. First, I'll show you kind of wide and panning up. From afar, things look pretty healthy and stuff. We just got a lot of rain finally, but you get in here, and this is what I mean about these older ones, and they're real leggy. I mean, things like that, that's just gonna go. Meanwhile, I have something like this. It's got decent diameter. It's not fully grown yet. So I'll probably keep things like that. And in the back, you'll see again, yeah, they might be ready to fruit, but they're really thin, and it's just, I don't want fruit from that. Let me look around and see if I have some flowers, and I can show you guys what things have looked like. In the same token, I have a lot of little shoots and pups coming up too, and those are probably gonna go as well. So yeah, I'll probably keep a couple of the healthier looking ones, but this one back here is pretty healthy looking too. But yeah, we're pretty much just gonna massacre all of these. All right, if you guys didn't know, I usually wear barefoot shoes. I'm gonna have to do some digging. I'm usually either barefoot or wearing barefoot shoes, so we'll see how this goes. All of my shoes are minimalist now. And so, while that's ideal for your feet, it's not very ideal for digging. And so if you guys didn't know, if you have a really good plant and you just hack it off, it'll come right back. You have to kind of separate it from the rhizome, and that's what we're gonna do. While I may be hacking some initially for access, I will need to get in there and dig out rhizomes. So I did say this one is this one, I think it already let off a crappy flower or something because it's just ready to go. And so, yeah, that didn't even flower. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, this was the rack. Pathetic. I think something chewed it. Also, I've been having a little issue with pests. I've never thought it would come to this, but I've had squirrel problems. I've had a squirrel bite off the flower just as I was flowering. They're biting a lot of the new foliage coming up, the new leaves. So that's been an ongoing thing too. And I'm thinking if I thin out the canopy a little bit, it'll be a little easier to spot, and I'll do what I have to do with that. Yeah, I'm gonna take out some of these not so good looking ones, and I'll get this little pup while I'm at it too. Another reason why you want to be on this is because once things get kind of crowded, it's hard to maneuver through there. Okay guys, here's some of the aftermath, but I still like to have what's called a banana circle, and I think we still have that. So I've left 5, and I did that because I want to be able to get bananas. So if one of these is ready to push, I like my chances of keeping 5 medium-sized bananas right now. And as I harvest, I'll make sure I cut out any pups. So from the other side, what I'm gonna do with all this is mulch it back in and feed the bananas. And I'll give the goats the leaves. And so, yeah, you can see here, things are pretty well cleared out now. All right guys, well I'm a little sweaty, a little winded. I am still getting over the old C19, third time's a charm I guess. But yeah, that's why I might be a little winded. It's also September now. Things have been in the triple digits, but we're around 90 now. So things are slowly cooling off a little bit. Probably should have gotten to this a lot earlier because yeah, September, it's gonna start going into October and getting a little cooled off. And by then, bananas will probably start to sleep. So hopefully we can get a nice rack off this. I have 1, 2, 3, I think 5 more clumps. Yeah, that's gonna be a little work because also the Namwa are a lot bigger and thicker than the Orinoco. So that'll be a little workout. I may just let things go until next winter. And depending on frost damage, I may just hack everything to the ground, and it'll be a lot easier to manage what comes up. But we'll see. I may, since I have, you know, a number of different clumps, I may experiment and see which ones do better with what. Right now, we can see through the end of the year what happens with this Orinoco. All right, well, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and if this was helpful, please give it a like and comment below if you have any takes on, you know, to separate pups or not, or yeah, let me know what region you're in and how you like to manage your bananas. All right, guys, well, that's gonna do it for today's video. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.